Hi.
Hello.
How's it going?
I'm doing great.
I am too, now that my microphone is on.
I'm so warmed up for this show intro.
It's like we just did one.
And I looked down because I forgot whether I put my microphone on or not. I looked down and Krisha's like, oh, I didn't turn mine on.
Mine's not on.
But anyhow,
it is now.
I'm excited because it occurs to me a couple of things that you're dressed in green. It's a week since St. Patrick's Day.
I am, but find us at KrishaandFrank.com.
Please.
Get our merch. Subscribe to our YouTube.
Yes.
And you can call us 865-236-0399.
Should you wish to advertise or just comment.
Yeah.
Or send us a donation, like our friend Tanya Cinnamon has sent us lovely donations.
Yeah.
And a few others. And we appreciate that because we use the money to reinvest into the show.
Yeah. And it's super cool. I've gotten one picture via text message on our line, but I don't know who it was from, and it was a random photo, so I don't know who it was.
I have sometimes wondered when I sent texts if I had the number right or wrong. I mean, we had a thing where I was texting with, I got a number for the fence guy. And so I write a big, long explanation. I got your number from so-and-so about the fence. I'd like to hire you to maybe come take a look. And then nothing. And then I get a call, and it's a busy signal. I had the wrong number. I was sending these random pictures of my backyard to some unknown number because the guy who gave me the fence guy's number had the digits transposed. So I had to figure it out on my own. And I ended up talking to the fence guy's dad.
Okay, well, that's good.
And then when the fence guy comes over here, he carries on like he doesn't know anything. He's just getting the estimate. And as he's leaving, after he gives me the estimate, he asks, "Are you home during the day?" I say, "Well, yeah. I mean, I mostly work from home." He's like, "Oh, yeah. I mean, my dad was telling me about your podcast."
All your secrets are out.
I'm like, "What? Huh? Your dad was telling you about the podcast?" Yeah, apparently he's Facebook friends with next door neighbor Nancy.
Oh, well, you know,
about it from
it
her.
happens. Yeah.
I also have a random text story to tell you.
Okay.
But you have something too?
No, go ahead.
I guess.
I do, but no.
I guess it was on St. Patrick's Day.
Yes.
The green reminded me of this, and then this other strange story is sometimes people in my family have started some group text chains.
Yes.
But it mostly was around the time that my mother was dying. So there's people involved in the text chain that I don't have their numbers. Like there's a New Jersey number popped up or a Texas number. I mean, I recognize my mother's siblings, my Aunt Grace, Uncle Tom, Aunt Johanna. I have their numbers. They pop up. I see them as initials here.
But then you've just got like the random bubble of a head where it's like,
Now, since then, you remember Cousin Billy? What's the woman's name?
That's the woman's name.
So now I've put him in my contacts. So now that one of the numbers in that mysterious group text is no longer a mystery to me. It comes up as Cousin Billy.
Cool.
And for St. Patrick's Day, somebody initiated a text. They found an old I guess it was Aunt Johanna, found an old St. Patrick's card that my mother had sent in her handwriting, wishing. So she took a picture of it and sent it to the group.
That's sweet.
Which started a cavalcade of responses.
Yes.
So Cousin Billy says a thank you to everyone, and I wrote
extra commas and exclamation points.
At 9:43 on the morning of St. Patrick's Day, and I've got it in front of me. That's why I know. I sent Happy St. Patrick's Day, green heart, green shamrock, sláinte, which is to your health.
Yes.
It's Gaelic for to your
sláinte.
health. It's a toast, like skål and all the other ones. So Bill writes back, "All the best to you both. Good luck, Krisha, on acting in Pigeon Forge, I assume. I love the Krisha Frank Show." So that's weird that, does he think you're on this group text?
Maybe.
Because she wasn't. It wasn't. But anyways,
maybe he's asking you to pass along the message.
And I did.
And
I did.
You.
And then it was funny to me now that I thought, oh, this is great because this will be the conversation killer. Because anytime I want to end a conversation with a family member, I mention the podcast.
Right.
I say, oh, we were talking about that on an episode of the show. Here's the link. And then it's crickets.
Right. Maybe it's crickets because they're watching it.
That could be.
Right?
That could be. But generally speaking, if I'm in a back and forth text chain with a family member, as soon as I mention this show,
oh, right,
it's the end of it.
Yeah.
So I wrote, so he says all that. He loves the show. Thanks, Bill. She's finishing training, performs in her first show at Hatfield and McCoy tomorrow, because this was St. Patrick's Day, right? And then, so I thought that would be ended. That would end it.
Nope.
Please give her good luck for me. You guys are doing You guys are a great team doing what you love to do. Keep up the good work. Sláinte to both as well.
Nice.
This is going to all of these other relatives. Like, all right. So what do I say to that? I'll tell Krisha, thanks. I'll break a leg. Thanks for watching. Thanks for buying the t-shirt.
Ooh, I see what you're doing. And
he writes back again. You're welcome. As they say in Braveheart, all men die, but free men live. You are following your dreams with short-term and long-term goals.
Easy.
Sorry, girl. Are you the short-term girl or the long-term girl?
Well, I think we know who the short-term girls are, so they're not here anymore.
You are living. Good for you, Frank. And then, so I said, okay, at this point, what am I going to do? So I sent a picture of the two of us in our that you had put on Instagram. Mm-hmm. And so he put back some long message about how it reminded him, breaking a leg reminded him of backing up the Honda Pilot years ago. When a 6-foot stone wall got in the sister's way, large stones fell. I can't even, I mean, it's a long story about how they now, instead of saying break a leg, they now say break a wall
break
in
a
their
wall.
family. Because
that
so it's a very, I'm just imagining none of the other aunts and uncles
are chiming in at all.
They're just letting this happen between cousin Billy and me.
Yeah.
And he and I can obviously talk to each other directly, but it was funny to me that
it happened in the group
text. That's what made it funny.
And it's funny, if I'm in a group text like that, I tend to just mute it. Like, I'm muting this.
Can you do that on iPhone?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know how.
Oh, yeah, you can mute it.
Oh.
Yeah. Because, sometimes people go on,
Well, that's must have been what happened. Everyone else must have muted it except me.
I didn't used to delete, entire text threads off of my phone. I used to just leave them.
Oh, yeah.
And I would have texts from 4 years ago. I've stopped keeping texts on my phone. There are several conversations that I keep on my phone between you and I.
Right.
Between
we have a lot of stuff that we have need to. What was that thing we talked about?
Right. I had to do it the other day. I had to scroll back and go, what was that? But for the most part, my kids, people at work, and you are about the only people that I keep, because I don't care anymore. I used to care a lot, and I just don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I'm just like, when will I want to go back and read this?
I go through and delete the attachments and photos, the GIFs and the stickers, and the pictures and the videos, because they take up too much space.
Yeah.
But I do that without going into the text app. I do it from the settings.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I guess I could delete these massive, conversations.
I used to do it for this nostalgia or this memory or something, and I just came to a point where I was like, I don't want
I'm still at the point where I have these old conversations. I mean, I don't know, we could probably go back. I think, I haven't tried it, but if I were to try to scroll back between you and me, it would probably go back years and years.
Yeah, see, mine would not, because I've switched phones since then.
Yeah.
But two, I have, we've talked about how many email addresses I have, but I had some emails.
I got an email from one of the other addresses when you sent me the audio clip of you for last Friday's episode. Uh-huh. It came up with a warning. This is the first time you've gotten an email from this address. Oh. Are you sure it's safe? Do you trust this address?
Which one was that?
I'll show you.
Anyway, I had some emails specifically that I needed to get rid of, and I started going through and realizing with my emails, I
know what I'll do. Go ahead.
I deleted there were some toxic, not great emails between me and people that I was like, I do not want to ever read this again.
All right, well, we've talked a lot on this show about your personal growth and how you came through an uncomfortable period, and now you're on the other side of it.
Yeah, and
now you're in the shwoo phase we talked about.
I think I'm even past the shwoo phase now. Is I realized the other day that I don't know. Do you ever just have a moment where you're like, oh wow, I don't think that the people that were in my life would even recognize this person of me, because I let so much go, and there was so much that I was doing that was so against me and so not me, that I'm even past the shwoo phase now. I woke up the other day and I was headed to work and I was doing this, and I realized my brain hadn't even thought of these other things or people and life, and I was just like,
You're glad that you let all that go, right?
Oh, what was I doing? Like, what? And it was, but it wasn't even a sadness. It was just like, hey.
Well, you and I talked about us as a personal friends. You said that you had pulled away from me because you didn't want me to know that part of you.
Right.
And
And
so actually you did me a favor, because this part of you that you've done away with, that you said you've made mistakes, you've made amends, things like that.
Good.
I don't know that, Krisha.
Yeah, and I'm glad. But when I say that also, it was retroactive that I realized that I was pulling away. Like, I did not make the intent, I'm going to pull away from this person, because it was through therapy and through doing this work that I realized I unintentionally protected those relationships by pulling away.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And now obviously you and I are great friends, and your other great friend Jennifer, you're back. Everything's back.
Yeah,
those friendships survived that trial, if you will, that separation.
I'm so grateful for that too, because a lot of people in my life had the opportunity to go, I'm sorry, you hurt me, and I don't want to be your friend anymore.
This is the one that I got the email from the other day. I don't normally get emails from that account of yours.
Okay.
And when I got it, I clicked OK, but it gave me this big warning.
Like, what?
Like, this unknown email address is trying to send you an M4A file. Are you sure?
That was okay. Well, I've had that email for ages.
Oh, I know. I recognize it, but it came into the work account, the Krisha Frank
that's what it was.
Gmail account. It was like, warning. What's happening?
It came through the work. Speaking of work, if you would like to take a break from work, go on a drive.
Can you imagine how beautiful that would be?
Oh, yeah. Up to Virginia.
I mean, I like the feeling of being out in the country, a little bit of rustic. But you know me, I'm more of a glamping kind of guy than I am a camping.
You're more of a rustic luxury kind of guy?
That's exactly would be it.
Somewhere like the Middleburg Barn.
I can see it.
TheMiddleburgBarn.com.
Can you imagine having that big old room with the ultraviolet light fixing up the air, cleaning the air as it goes through, the temperature control.
Chandelier.
Oh, the Swarovski crystals.
Having a party like we talked about yesterday, a big surprise party. You walk into this gorgeous barn, and there are 80 of your closest friends and family surprising you, and there's some swans, and there's the stable boys, and you're in this beautiful picturesque place, and boom, it's a party for you. You could do that.
Right.
At the Middleburg Barn.
You could probably Maureen would probably find you someone who could make an ice sculpture.
Ooh.
Get your picture on a cake.
Yeah,
exactly. That's what you should have.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine all that.
I want an ice sculpture of me with my tongue stuck to an ice sculpture.
Of something else?
No. Yes. Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't be kissing yourself in the ice sculpture.
I want a Heisman Trophy ice sculpture that my stung is tucked to.
Yes, that's a good thing.
And then ice sculpture.
I'm guessing that, Maureen, I imagine that someone must have had an ice sculpture at the Middleburg Barn at some point.
It's too elegant for it not to.
Their Wedding Wire has rated them a Couples Choice Award. So clearly, ice sculptures are involved. You don't get a Couples Choice Award without someone having an ice sculpture.
And with being only 40 miles west of D.C., you can have that catered all the way from D.C.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Well, also Middleburg has many, many fine restaurants. In fact, there are some within, if you're going for the destination and you're maybe staying in the guest house, the cottage, on the campus of the Middleburg Barn and the Fox Chase Farm.
You'll get there.
Well, because I'm ahead of myself,
yes.
They are very close to some of these highly rated Michelin restaurants, like the Inn at Little Washington or whatever it's called. And there's some really, I'm talking the 4-star Michelin trying to go for 5.
Holy moly.
That's up there, and that's Middleburg. That's that part of the world. I think Loudoun County, Virginia, is the most affluent country in America.
Oh, wow.
Maybe?
County.
County?
Yeah. Not country.
Duh.
Yeah.
I think so. It's a very lovely area.
Awesome. Check them out, themiddleburgbarn.com. Call Maureen.
Yes, call area code 540-687-5255.
So,
I'm going to take a sip of coffee.
Please do.
I meant to before the show started, but it was too hot.
We were talking about podcasts and, how people zone out listening to podcasts.
We have a podcast.
We do, huh?
Did you just zone out listening to our podcast?
No, but I listen to a lot of podcasts. I listen to one of my absolute favorite ones the last couple of years has been On Being with Krista Tippett.
That's a radio show, though.
It is.
Is the podcast and the radio show the same?
Exactly the same.
Okay.
Yeah, most NPR takes all of their shows and podcasts it, such as...
seriously, I think podcasting is where it is today because NPR took the lead. Mm-hmm. They were so far out in front and so far ahead of
This
the game
American Life was one of them.
in doing, and Radio Lab was a podcast and then became a radio show, I think. So, yeah, but all those shows, what's his name that I like with the hidden brain guy?
Yeah.
Shantarodonkum. Something like that.
They're so good.
They really set the bar.
Yeah.
So, they're smart saying that, understanding that people don't listen to FM radio the way they used to anymore. Maybe you tune in because On Being is on at a certain time on Sundays.
Yeah.
I bet you used to know.
Maybe.
I mean, Wait, Don't Tell Me is on at a certain time.
I'm done with Wait, Don't Tell Me.
But I mean...
I'm done with them.
Okay.
I'm done.
All right. Well, they used to be appointment listening for some people at 11 a.m. on Saturdays. But that's another show. You can listen to it now whenever you want. Yep. It's on demand now. Yeah,
but at 11 a.m. on Saturday, if you're in your car and maybe you just started watching a new season of a reality show called Alone, and it's the 6th season, and you really, really enjoy this show, and you just started watching it. You've watched the first episode and half of the second episode, and you really enjoy it. And it's about survivalists living in the Arctic of Canada.
Ooh, this is the show you thought Jerry would like?
I think Jerry will love this show. It's kind of like Survivor, except they're not competing against anybody but themselves in the elements.
Do they bring their dogs?
No.
That's another show.
So... it's called Alone. It's a phenomenal show. It's on the History Channel, and I just started watching it.
All right.
And I was leaving here. And Wait, Don't Tell Me was on in my car.
Yes.
And as I turn onto your other road to leave,
I have multiple roads. It's a podcast Ponderosa.
The host of Wait, Don't Tell Me says,
Peter Sagal. Peter Sagal.
And today's guest is the winner of season 6 of Alone. Blah, 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 blah.
No.
Now, sir, I realize that this show aired a while back. But some of us don't watch it as it's happening. Actually, most of us don't, sir, Mr. Sagal. Ruined it. I hate spoilers more than anything you could possibly imagine. I hate spoilers. Do not tell me anything about anything. And it makes me so mad.
Nothing.
Do not tell me anything about anything. Not a thing.
It's all surprises.
Ruined the whole season.
I thought we were talking about On Being, but I guess we're talking about Wait.
We are.
Okay.
But On Being is one of my favorite shows. I was using that anecdotally.
I did not mean to walk us into that story, but it's fascinating because I just was mentioning it off the top of my head about...
Well, I meant to walk us into that story, which is why I mentioned my favorite podcast, and I was using that anecdotally to tell you about what really happened.
Oh, so I fall right in the trap.
You did.
Well done, then. Don't tell me what's happening. You didn't spoil it for me. I
got a big one.
I walked right into it.
Yeah.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah.
Most radio people, I don't know what it is about radio people, but I've come to learn not to prejudge what they must look like, because so many people will say to me, you look nothing like what I thought you would look like, or you look exactly what I thought you would look like. Yeah. It doesn't really matter.
Someone once said to me, I thought you'd be fatter and blonder.
Wonder why. I mean, totally said that to me. Well, so when someone has no Facebook profile, it's just a gray shadow.
Yeah.
For years, that is what the image I would have, similar like that. It's a good analogy of when I hear someone on the radio, to me, they're just a gray shadow. They're a nothing.
Right.
Because I've met so many radio people, I can wait.
Yeah.
I will wait until I meet them, and then I'll find out what they look like. I don't guess, because you're going to guess wrong. So I get this neutral slate. When I did finally see a picture of Peter Sagal... He
looks exactly...
No, he blindsided me. I did not expect him to look like that.
Really?
There was a picture of him and somebody else, like maybe the announcer or somebody, and I thought they were the other. I assumed it was the other way around.
Oh.
I didn't expect Peter Sagal to look like he does.
Wow.
I don't know why that is.
Well,
I guess I thought he would look more like me. I don't know. I don't know what I thought he would look like.
Looks like a big doo-doo booger brain to me. He ruined my whole show. Like, do you have a hardcore line? You probably don't, because you don't watch stuff like I do. But like spoilers, like it makes me so mad.
Oh, well, I mean, certainly I used to watch way too much television.
Yeah.
And I would DVR way too much. And we would sit through and try to slog through multiple hours of TV a night just to stay caught up. And it got to the point where
tedious.
It was tedious, and I quit. I got it got to the point where things were dropping off the DVR because they were so old and there was no rooms for storage left.
Right.
So now I've missed it.
Yeah.
So then, so you may as well just delete all the rest of the episodes because it's too late.
Yeah.
So then you start doing that enough times and you realize nothing matters.
Nope.
So, and a lot of times in movies and things like that, spoilers don't necessarily bother me because what I then do is I'm watching the construction of it. I'm like, well, how does that, if that's the ending, how do they get there? And I'm looking at all the other pieces of it.
I'm likely to be actually mad at you if you spoil something.
Like if someone dies at the end of an opera, I kind of want to know.
Why?
Because I can't understand the language, so you have to have. That's
Okay,
why they give you
that's
why they give you
different.
the outline and tell
That's
you.
different, but if someone dies at the end of a movie...
Doesn't everyone die at the end of a movie?
No!
A lot of times they do.
No, but no!
'Cause I usually expect
Okay, a
someone
surprise
to die.
death in a movie. Or a twist, like an M. Night Shyamalan movie, maybe.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Well,
right?
you know what? It happens usually in it's some TV series. You know, I don't watch a lot of those types of shows, but what are the ones that people like?
Grey's Anatomy.
Yes, and the ones that same lady wrote.
Shonda Rhimes.
Yes.
All
of those.
Yeah.
People love those shows.
How to Get Away with Murder.
I've not watched any of them. My wife has
all
watched
of
them. But when people die in those shows, it's always like news.
Oh, it's a
Can
surprise.
you believe they killed off Dr. So-and-so?
Well, I'm sorry, but there's a whole storyline going on in Grey's Anatomy right now that is taking the entire season to get
still
through.
on?
It's still on. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it aired the other night, and I have not watched the episode yet. And it's apparently a
in
big one.
2021?
Yes.
It's still on.
When I was super depressed several years ago.
On regular TV, not like Netflix.
It's on regular TV, yes. But here, when
I feel like I lived in California when that show came on.
You
How
did.
long has it been on? 20
it's
years?
almost. It's like a soap opera. It's an evening soap opera.
Okay.
Days of Our Lives is still on. I mean,
It is?
Yeah.
I thought they canceled all those.
No. Anyway, there was a point in my life post radio, in between like radio, when I left radio, that I didn't acknowledge that I was super depressed, but kind of what gave it away is I'd never watched Grey's Anatomy in my life.
Yeah.
And I laid in bed and started it and watched 14 seasons.
14 seasons.
Back to back to back to back.
That's work.
back. And I would get up in the morning and I would make sure the kids got off to school.
And
I would lay down in my bed on my iPad. I wouldn't even watch it on TV. I would lay on my side on my iPad and start watching Grey's Anatomy. When it was time to get the kids home from school, I would get the kids home from school. I would make sure they had food. I would go back to my room and I would just watch episode after episode after episode. And that's when I was like, something has to change in my life because I just watched 14 seasons of a television show.
On your iPad.
On my iPad, in my bed. Right? Right? But I felt fine.
I'm sure my wife is now telling the screen what I do wrong. But I mean, because I know I get involved in things, but I probably, she probably says, well, you know what, you do too much, you work too much on on this show, for example, but
you do work too much.
But I don't have, that's what I do. I don't have time to watch these programs.
Right.
Anymore.
Well, you should make time to do that.
But what ones do I like?
I don't know.
See, I don't think I like any of them.
Maybe? Yeah. There's probably quite a few programs that you would enjoy. But you watch some things, like you watch Queen's Gambit and you watch...
Oh, because of Jerry. She'll make me. She'll say, I watched 2 episodes of a show, but I'm willing to restart it and watch it from the beginning.
And that's wonderful.
Because you would like it.
Right.
It's about chess and you're kind of nerdy.
Yeah.
So I watched it.
Yeah. And like, that's good. But you need to kind of allow yourself that time to read a book, do a crossword puzzle,
I do crossword puzzles.
I know, but you do it right before you go to bed, and you do it as fast as you can. 34 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, that is not taking some time for yourself. It's not 33 seconds.
Well, that's the mini. I did you know what? I did the mini in 18 the other day.
I saw that on your Twitter. Congratulations.
No, 18 seconds. Did I put that on there? Yeah, well, I made 1,000. What are we up to? I guess we should break.
We gotta go.
We'll talk about it another time, but I do have my crossword puzzle streak going.
Yeah.
And you're right. I do it as fast as I possibly can.
Right.
All right.
All right.
You know what? I don't want the show to end.
I know.
This is what I enjoy.
I know.
I don't watch other things. I will watch. You know how many times I'm going to see this episode?
A lot.
Yeah, because all right.
Bye.
I don't want it to end. This is my enjoyment. This is what my relaxation.
I know, but it's also work and it stresses you out, and you can't do both.
Okay.
If it's your relaxation and it's your stressor, you can't have both. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
Do I look relaxed?
You look so relaxed right now, but then you get into editing and you're like, nah.
Okay.
Okay.
I guess we should cut it short so I don't have to edit so much.
Here's a random picture. Bye.